Enoch, how are you?
Quite fine. How are you too?
It's good to see you again. Thank you.
I'm just sorry. I'm sorry, Professor. I was a bit late. I had a meeting, but I have met the target. Thank you.
No, you're here. You're here. Very good.
Thank you.
Very good.
And the transmission looks to be very fine.
Yeah. No. Excellent. Excellent. I see people coming online, which is great. We'll get started here in a couple of minutes. Okay, it's 9 o'clock here in central Iowa, where the World Food Prize Borlaug Dialogue is kicking off today, really with our side event being one of the first events of the week. We're excited to be able to be part of this Borlaug Dialogue, which again takes place mostly virtually, but also some events are taking place here in Des Moines. Our side event is organized by the Consortium for the Innovation in the Reduction of Post-Harvest Loss and Food Waste. And we have been working together as a consortium with a number of academic institutions, NGOs, and also companies and research institutions. And our funding comes from the Rockefeller Foundation and the Foundation for Food and Agriculture Research. And the focus of our side event is the post-harvest loss is really more than just reducing post-harvest loss and food waste. As a matter of fact, today we want to highlight impacts through partnerships on the global food system. And with that, we're going to focus primarily, highlight two organizations that we've had the honor to work with, one, Iringa Hope, and the other, Self-Help International, that along with Engineers Without Borders and Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology in Ghana, has been collaborating on a number of activities. And I want to introduce our moderator, Lucina Cortica. Lucina Cortica is the Senior Scientific Program Director for Health and Agriculture Nexus at the Foundation for Food and Agriculture Research, and she's been our contact for the consortium and our supporter and booster, and we really appreciate all the work that we've been able to do with Lucina and her team and FAR, and so we look forward to today and appreciate you being willing to moderate our panel and discussion. So I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Dirk, and welcome everyone. We have really great speakers who will be talking to us about the efforts, in-country efforts related to the reduction of food waste, but also food loss. So because we have only an hour for this webinar, I would like to go ahead with the agenda and introduce first Dr. Enoch Ugulumu. Professor Ugulumu has 19 years of experience in community development. He's director of Iringa Hope, a US nonprofit corporation dedicated to raising the standard of living in rural Tanzania through small loans to farmers and shopkeepers. Dr. Ugulumu, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Luciana, and thank you, everybody. I think you can hear me. Can you hear me? Thank you, thank you. Iringa Hope. Iringa Hope was founded in 2010, and it works to make the availability of financial services and the products. It also conducts training and also avail agricultural inputs and also provide marketing services to smallholders in Tanzania in the Iringa and Njombe regions in particular. And also on marketing services, we connect our farmers to buyers who are within the East African community and the South African region, the SADC. Iringa Hope was organized to support the formation of savings and credit cooperative societies, SACCOs, and agricultural marketing societies, AMCOs. So far, we have 35 registered SACCOs groups, and we have 27 registered AMCOs groups. These groups, they collaborate under umbrella organizations. That is Cutters for Iringa Hope joined SACCOs, and another one, Iringa Hope, joined AMCOs. We normally provide a number of services like training to smallholder farmers. We also do conduct monitoring on what is going on from the plans that we have formulated. We conduct field visits on monthly basis, and also we mobilize resources to support their efforts towards improving productivity of cereal crops. We also provide financial capital to SACCOs and AMCOs through requests that we receive from them. We oversee also financial statements at the SACCOs level, and also we prepare budgets for SACCOs, and also help them to write good financial reports. We mobilize also and provide farm inputs like fertilizer, sprays, high quality seeds, and so forth to agricultural marketing groups. We provide receipt systems services whereby we have a set aside fund when it comes to harvests of smallholder farmers. And also Iringa Hope provide and link marketing services to buyers who later on will buy these products from farmers. Coming back to the successes under Iringa Hope is associated to the roles of partners, especially on global food supply systems. Iringa Hope has a number of collaborators, partners. They include Iringa Hope US, who have provided us played an advisory role on forming a workable structure of its kind in Tanzania. The SACCOs and AMCOs, they are situated in one place where membership is different, but members could be aligned in both in both cooperative societies. Iringa Hope US has helped us to mobilize financial resources so that it helped Iringa Hope Tanzania to create a loan pool that enables over 3,000 SACCOs members and over 1,700 AMCOs members to access loans. And these loans has helped to invest in production of food crops like cereal crops, but also it has helped to put in a bond in a form of a loan so that we can access better markets. Iringa Hope US has helped to link Iringa Hope Tanzania with other partners like Rockefeller, Peter J. King Foundation, the Iowa State University, and the parishes under the St. Paul Area Synod of the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America. Iringa Hope US has supported the SACCOs and AMCOs in Tanzania to develop infrastructures and various items that are in it. We have another partner who is Peter King Family Foundation. He has supported in the construction of 24 integrated development centers, has supported to build a market center that can store up to over 3,000 capacity of hematic storage bags, but also has helped to smoothen the running of AMCOs and SACCOs by reducing to a larger degree the food wastes or food reduction through uncontrolled ways. Another partner who has really worked with Iringa and is going on Iringa Hope Tanzania is the Iowa State University. Currently, we are working on the analysis of learning formats so that we can see the yield-wise looking of different application of farm inputs. Within different ways, we want to develop a model that will increase profitability and also post-harvest management to smaller holders in Tanzania. Another is Rockefeller Foundation, who has helped to introduce the use of hermetic storage bags to all AMCOs in Iringa and Njombe. We have other local partners. These include the Lutheran Church in Iringa that has provided land to construct our infrastructure and is also allowing us to use its structures to market and advertise about Iringa Hope and also educate about Iringa Hope. You have the University of Iringa that is supporting us in terms of Iringa Hope using its lecture theaters, using its hostels, and also University of Iringa is paying for the security and utilities costs that Iringa Hope could have paid. We have the Bank of Tanzania and the Tanzania Commission for Corporate Development. These are regulators. They are helping us to register and give us the ways to go according to the rules of the land. We have also other partners. These include parishes in the St. Paul Area Synod of the Lutheran Church in America. These have provided us with capital to be worked under SACCOs and AMCOs. So far, Iringa Hope has made a major accomplishments. These include to have a workable structure of Iringa Hope, SACCOs and AMCOs of its kind in Tanzania. And also it has helped to create what we call capacity enhancement to smallholder farmers through training at a village level. We have also introduced technologies by using hermetic storage bags. This is a great success to us because it helps us to reduce wastages of food and food losses. It has also, we have created the loan pool that over 3,000 SACCOS members and over 1,700 AMCOS members, they can have access to finances, and also through their family members, over 20,000 indirect beneficiaries are seen also. We have witnessed the construction of storage facilities in 24 areas where we have created integrated development centers and the market center. What is the potential for future growth? We have plenty of potentials. That is in terms of the market access of farm outputs. East Africa, Southern Africa is the largest market. You will continue to demand food from Tanzania, and Iringa and Njombe in particular. And also there is a room to increase productivity and production by using high technology, high quality seeds, and so forth. And also the geographical coverage to reach other villages is not yet saved. It means that Iringa Hope is just saving a small part of the communities in Iringa and Njombe. Technology advancement is another area where we can reduce post-harvest by employing technologies like the hermetic bags. Finally, financial inclusion in Tanzania is still very, very low. We don't have enough and big number of Tanzanians who have access to financial services. And therefore, financial inclusion as a concept, but also as a practice, is highly needed to reach majority of Tanzania. Dear listeners, I can end here as 10 minutes cannot allow me to proceed anymore, to allow for others also to provide or present their details. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Professor Ugulumu. That was very enlightening and very impressive, considering all the successes that and achievements that the Iringa Hope was able to just simply complete in such a very short time. Over a decade only, and yet this is very impressive. I would like to now introduce Norm Sickman, who is a member of the board of directors of Iringa Hope USA. Norm holds a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering from the University of Illinois and a master's degree in business administration from the University of Chicago. Norm?
Thank you very much. And thank you, Enoch, Professor Ugulumu, for a very complete description of Iringa Hope, its accomplishments, and the benefits of the organization. I want to thank Professor Dirk Mayer and the Consortium for Innovation in Post-Harvest Loss and Food Waste Reduction for the opportunity to participate in this panel, and thanks to FAR, the Foundation for Food and Agriculture Research, and the Rockefeller Foundation for their support. You're right, in a short 10 years, a lot has been accomplished. And we have grown to over 3,200 cooperative members, and that's affecting over 20,000 family members and indirect members. The cooperatives have become self-supporting and self-governing. And as a result, what we have found out early on when we began to talk about best farming practices, it was realized that people can understand what the best farming practices are, but without access to finance through microfinance loans, smallholder farmers aren't able to purchase hybrid seed and fertilizer. And that's part of it. That allows members to increase their production and yield by a factor of up to 3. However, traditionally, smallholder farmers would sell at the farm gate to a middleman. And we realized that if we were able to help them to store their grain for 4 to 6 months, they'd be able to obtain market prices for 40 to 60% higher typically than at harvest time. And through the assistance of Professor Mayer, the consortium, we've been able to work together as partners to put those best practices in place. And so that includes safe storage spaces to store the grain, storing in hermetically sealed bags that will keep the product safe from insect damage, and also to be able to have clean grain, but most important of all, be able to use moisture measurement tools, meters, that will help farmers to make sure that their grain is at most 13.5% moisture, that will be able to prevent mold and allow them to keep their products in storage and obtain the higher prices. And the overall benefits to this is using all of these tools, farmers, smallholder farmers can possibly increase their income by a factor of 3 to 5 times. And the benefit of all this is they're able to send children to school. They're able to send children to college in many cases. They're able to get better food, better nutrition, better medical care, and the whole community benefits from that. So we, as the board of directors in the USA, we work very closely with Professor Ugalumu and the staff of 8 people that are on the ground in Iringa, where Professor Ugalumu's staff is managing with partners in Tanzania, such as the Sokoine University of Agriculture, and key suppliers such as Monsanto, Corteva, and Yara, while we are able to work together with organizations such as the Iowa State University and key contacts like Professor Dr. Steve Sonka, Professor Emeritus at the University of Illinois. So we are very pleased to participate in the panel today. We are very appreciative of the work of our partners that we work together with, and we look forward to questions during the question and answer session later on. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Norm. This is, as I said before, this is all very impressive, and the impact on individual farmers and families, the fact that they are able to send kids to schools. And something we don't mention very often, but also use the time that they have from cultivation of those crops, because I understand these are crops that are resistant to diseases and don't require as much pesticides use. Therefore, they are able also to save time to spend with more with families. So I think that's something we cannot really overlook as well. I would like to turn to Nora Tobin, who heads Self-Help International, and that's an organization founded in the 50s in Waverly, Iowa, whose objective is to help people to feed themselves and their families, as well as advancing their educational and social standing. Nora earned a master's degree in international peace studies from Trinity College in Ireland. Nora?
Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here with you today. Can you hear me okay right now? All right. Well, my name is Nora Tobin, and I'm presenting today with my colleague Benjamin Kusi, who is the Self-Help Ghana Country Director. And we're going to screen share as we go through our presentation today. But Self-Help International is a nonprofit founded here in Iowa. We have long worked with the World Food Prize and have this close association in part because Dr. Borlaug was from just up the road from Waverly, where the organization was just founded. So we started off by building tractors that were appropriate for smallholder farmers, really our mission is to alleviate hunger by helping people help themselves. And so the founder was able to create these small tractors that we could ship all over the world. And for a long time, they helped farmers mechanize. But of course, as we all know, with any machinery, there are challenges involved. You have to know how to maintain it. You've got to make sure that the parts are available. And so by the late 80s, we really shifted into long-term sustainable community development work at the invitation of Dr. Norman Borlaug and in partnership with Sasakawa Global 2000. And so self-help since the beginning has always had partnerships at the center of what we do. That's the only way we found to be able to operate. And so we started working in Ghana and West Africa in 1989, and then introduced the program model in Nicaragua in 1999 with some local adaptations. And that has been the general focus for us. And so we have some incredible country directors. I've been with Self-Help for 8 years now. I'm from Iowa originally, and was able to learn from a number of the professors that are on the call today from Iowa State University and other partners. And as an organization, Self-Help is focused on how do we partner with others to build on our strengths and be able to maximize the impact as we're working with smallholder farm families. The expert truly is my colleague, Benjamin Kusi, who has been working with Self-Help International for more than 20 years now and leads all of our efforts in Ghana. And so I'd like to invite Mr. Kusi to lead the presentation from here.
Thank you very much, Nora. And thank you, Professor Maya and your team for this opportunity for Self-Help to share with the world what is that we are doing to alleviate hunger. Greetings to all listeners and viewers. As Nora did indicate, Self-Help, we work to alleviate hunger by helping people help themselves. This is a Herculean task. There's no way any single intervention can help to achieve this. In the past, we were using just one intervention, either micro loans or improving agriculture. But what we have learned is that clients are better able to overcome hunger when they are subjected to multifaceted interventions. At the moment, there are 3 main interventions that we are focusing on. That is improving agriculture, promoting good nutrition, and then empowering women and girls. And this we do through training, education, leadership development, and also other forms of assistance, which include access to microloans. Under our Empowering Women and Girls program, with regard to the women, what we do is that we give them financial literacy training, record keeping, and also how to do business management. And on top of that, we provide them with microloans that have flexible conditions, flexible repayment terms. For each 100 cedis given to a client, within 6 months, the client pays 15.5 cedis. We don't take any collateral. With this, a lot of women are empowered financially, which means more girls have been able to go to school, medical bills have been paid, kids have been fed nutrient-rich foods, the women have businesses. On the side of the girls, what we do is, in the rural communities, it is not easy for a girl to go beyond junior high school. So what we are doing is that we provide them extra tuition and also skills training. And here the objective is that when they have the extra tuition, they are able to go higher the academic ladder, go beyond junior high school, senior high school, and possibly to tertiary. I'm happy to say that since we started this program in 2016, for the first time in one of the communities that we serve, a young lady has been able to go to tertiary to, the satisfaction of all of us. Apart from the extra tuition, we occasionally organize excursion for these girls that brings them outside the walls of their communities. And when these girls see what is happening outside their communities, the last time we did was in July this year. We had education, and we sent them to Kenya. Work very hard and go to other Kwame Nkrumah or any of the tertiary institutions. The second intervention that we are working on is improving agriculture. Here, what we do is that we provide hands-on training to both new and existing farmers. What we have found is that of late, most of the youth are running away from agriculture because they don't find it attractive due to reasons such as labor-intensive nature of it, inadequate access to credit, and also difficult managing post-harvest challenges. This we have done, and I'm happy to announce that at this point, some of the students have had their own fields, and they are able to generate some revenue, which they are using to support their education. The third intervention, which is promoting good nutrition. Here, we focus on providing education and training to mothers so that they practice exclusive breastfeeding. And then for girls, for children who are in KG1, class 1, and also KG2, they are served breakfast prepared from quality protein maize. And this has led to increased enrollment and school attendance in participating schools. I must also say that, yes, these mothers are also given support by way of food supplement and also train on how to prepare and feed their kids, nutrient-rich winning diets. We have not done any, let's say, studies since we started this intervention, but the evidence we have at this point is that, yes, more of the children are doing well nutritionally, and the frequent cases of sickness and diseases among these kids have gone down considerably, and we are happy. Couldn't task and not something that any one individual or one institution can achieve. I'm happy to report that in the year 2020, we together with our partners were able to work, say that 224 Teen Girls Club training sessions were conducted on topics like reading, leadership, and self-esteem to girls from rural communities. 640 women received low-interest microloans to invest into their businesses. Training were organized for these women on topics like business expansion, management, and savings. 850 children in kindergarten and class 1 participated in self-help school feeding program. 162 mothers and children participated in Growing Healthy Food, Growing Healthy Children program, each mother to enhance nutrition in the first 1,000 days and household food security. Last but not least, 1,378 farmers attended community extension training sessions on increasing their yields with improved farming methods. As I said, we're able to achieve this together with our partnership. Alleviating hunger is not something that any institution can go solo. So at all points, we make sure there are people who are ready to go along with us, who think like us, and we do whatever we can to enter into partnership with them. In going to any partnership, these are some of the things that we have on our minds. We are guided by saying that if you want to go fast, you may go alone. But if you want to go far, you must go with others. Alleviating hunger calls for multifaceted approach, and we believe that working with like-minded institutions, organizations, and individuals is the way to go. What is partnership? Our understanding of partnership is working to advance the cause of one another. There must be mutual respect, there must be transparency, accountability, and hard work. So when we are into any partnership and we have these as your cardinal points, it works to your advantage. It makes you work harder, which serves as a strength. And of course, I must say, partnership also calls for sacrifices. There are times that we have to forego certain things because of your partner. Over these years, there are people that we have been working with, they include communities, traditional councils, local governments, national government agencies, non-government agencies, research institutions, and affiliates. If you go to the community, you also have partners. Here we are looking at, and on the school side, we have the School Management Council, we have the PTA, and we also have the teachers. And then at the traditional level, we have traditional leaders, the chiefs, elders, and religious bodies, and also have the elected officials. These are the assembly members and unit committee members. These are all partners we work with in the various communities to be able to achieve our goal of alleviating hunger by helping people help themselves. Key partners, especially on the side of the government, the national institutions, we have the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, MOFA, Ghana Health Service, Ghana Education Service, and then Crop Research Institutes. In addition, we have others who are in the non-government bracket. They include Women's Health Wealth, Center for No-Till Agriculture, Days for Girls International, Engineers Without Borders, that's the ISU, KNUST, University of Iowa chapters. The research institutions and affiliates, we have Common University of Science and Technology, ISU, Consortium for Innovation in Post-Harvest Laws and Food Waste Reduction. These are all partners together with whom we've been able to achieve the success, at least for the 2020, which I just shared with you. In the communities, this is how the partnership works. Largely, the community leaders will accept us and introduce us to the larger community. And then they also accept to be part of our programs. Without that, there's no way we can proceed. So they are accepting us, introducing us to the larger community, and also allowing us to enter their homes are the things that they do to support our interventions. On the other side, we also provide training for them, and then we also provide access to financial resources. In some cases, opinion leaders have donated land to support our agricultural demonstration activities. So that is how communities play their role. There's a video which we share later on, talking about how our programs have impacted on some of our clients. The Ministry of Food and Agriculture, by far, I would say they are our number one partner. Over the years, they have provided free accommodation here in the Ashanti region and recently in the Upper West region. They have the resources, they have the material resource, they have the human resource. And most of the time, when there are new crop or animal releases, we are among the first institutions to get wind of them and also make sure our farmers also have access to. And this we are able to do because of our partnership with MOFA and our closeness to them. We partner with them to provide training in the various communities that we serve. What we have also been doing in support of MOFA's work is that every year, as they honor hardworking farmers, we donate items which they give to these farmers to also show appreciation of their contribution. In the past, we have donated rain boots, machetes, and a projector to support Farmers' Day celebration. Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology are also in the good books of our partners. I'm happy to say all three country directors of Self-Up International are products of Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Our collaboration with them has been very key. Recently, that's in July, they hosted our Teen Girls Club members to a conference, after which most of the girls resolved that no matter what, they work very hard and go higher the academic ladder. Even if they don't get a chance to go to KNUST, they work hard to go to other tertiary institutions, something that really inspires all of us. And then in 2018, in a collaboration with KNUST, we started a program which provides hands-on training to students who have completed a tertiary and read agriculture. On our side, we also host KNUST students on internship. These students have likely come from Sociology and Social Work Department, and also School of Engineering, and also Department of Agriculture. As I mentioned earlier on, alleviating hunger calls for multifaceted approaches. No single intervention can do. We ourselves are mindful of the fact that we are not health professionals, and to alleviate hunger and really alleviate it well, there's no way you can, put aside health. So on this basis, we partner with the Ghana Health Service and the Women's Health to Work. In August this year, Ghana Health Services organized reproductive health education for our clients and also checked their vitals. Clients who needed attention were referred to the hospital. The exercise is conducted almost every year for our clients. In the past, local NGO, that is the Women's Health Wealth, organized cervical cancer screening for our microcredit clients, resulting in several women receiving timely cervical cancer diagnosis and treatment. This is something that we also really appreciate, because in the rural communities, accessing healthcare is a challenge. So we don't get this happening. So when we have our health partners providing these services, we really appreciate that. In 2019, what we also did is, when there was COVID all over the world, our staff joined the Ghana Health Service team to provide education to our clients and all the people in the rural communities. And I'm happy to say that as a result of our involvement in the education, almost all our clients got to know of what to do to stay healthy. So they are abiding by the COVID safety protocols, and thankfully, majority of our clients have complied with the safety protocols and are very healthy. Yes, looking ahead, Self-Help Ghana has operated in the Central region since 1989. In 2021, through our partnership with ISU, UWB, KNUST, Low Traditional Authority, and MUFA, we have commenced operations in the Upper West region, one of the poorest regions in Ghana. This partnership came to fruition based on the needs articulated by the community and invitation from community leadership, and the complementary strengths and assets each stakeholder brings to the table to achieve our common mission, to work with people to become self-reliant. Thank you for your time. But before you go, we are going to share with you that video which shows how our programs are impacting on our clients. Again, thank you very much.
Thank you to both Nora and Benjamin. And are you going to show the video now?
In the interest of time, what we could do is share the YouTube link with all of the participants, if that's okay.
Yeah, let's do that. And then we'll also post that link plus the narrated presentation on the consortium website as well. Let's see what we have some questions first. Lucina, go ahead with your moderation.
Yes, thank you so much. And we have a couple of questions from participants. The first one is from Mr. Gelgelo Kibi from the Bako Agricultural Engineering Research Center and researcher on ag machineries and farm power. So his question is about getting well, I don't know if this is really a question, getting some machinery and processing, especially processing machinery that is given to women farmers, etc. I don't know if you have any comments on that.
Lucina, I might be able to help on this one. This seems to be very specific about agriculture machinery, and right. I'll put a note on there, but there is actually an effort by the American Society of Agricultural Biosystems Engineers to work with existing agriculture engineering and machinery universities in Africa to look at some of those aspects. But perhaps Benjamin or Enoch or Nora and Norm might almost comment what they see in terms of machinery use or small scale machinery as well, because it's always been a topic of interest by people too. Maybe that's the way to phrase that. So.
Sure.
Thank you. Go ahead, Nora.
Well, Self-Help's core programs focus on supporting families in agriculture, and specifically through the women's microcredit. We've seen a lot of women's groups that collaborate to do palm oil processing, and it's made a huge difference to be able to mechanize that process. And I wonder, Benjamin, can you still hear okay to be able to share about the learning that we've seen through those palm oil processing groups, some of the experiences the women have had that are successful in working with machinery, or some of the challenges in working with machinery? Benjamin, I don't know if you just heard that question, but the question was about using machinery and mechanizing palm oil processing. I know you said the rains just came, and so it might be challenging to hear right now.
Please forgive me, it is raining heavily here, and the noise on the roof is just too much. I'm not sure, I didn't get a question, but it's about palm oil processing equipment. All that I can say is that yes, they are such an efficient and effective tool. If we look at how women process oil in the rural communities, they use a lot of water. I'm not going to the word waste, but the amount of water they use in extracting the oil is said that every attempt to make sure they move away from extracting the oil using the water must be encouraged. I mean, the screw press, which is among the least of the equipment for palm oil extraction, makes such a huge change. They're able to save a lot of water, which is scarce in the community.
Thank you. Another question. I'm sorry, anyone wanted to elaborate more on this issue? No. There is a question about water security in the community as climate changes, and how do you overcome those challenges? Anyone wants to take this on? So
repeat the question again. I'm sorry. Please say the question again.
Yeah, so the question is about issues around water security in the community as climate changes. So how do you overcome these challenges if those communities face the challenge of related to water supply?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Again, let me start with the aspects of the small scale machinery. It depends, the question is, it depends within the specified value chain. For instance, for production of maize, we need to use appropriate technology, and we cannot provide everything, but we have a room whereby other suppliers of machinery to support production of maize could be done. We have also those who are buying maize from our stocks to process and make flour for consumption. Again, we say we cannot do everything in the value chain, but we can do production and storage, and later on sell to other actors in the value specified value chain. Coming back to the climatic changes is really a tedious and kind of challenging aspects of our life today. And what we do in Iringa is to get the seeds that can use shorter period of time during the rain season, so that people could grow maybe within 60 days or 90 days, you should be able to harvest. But also there are technologies whereby we now use, when we till the land, we should make sure that there is a coverage of the soil, so that soil will not go up through evaporation. So there are various ways where we try to make sure that the changes that are taking place now cannot really harm completely what you are trying to do. Though we need an initiative of the government, the people, and the international community to help these changes that are taking place now. To a larger degree, we can say that we need to work together when it comes to climatic changes. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for addressing this. Anyone else? Did I hear someone? No.
Yes.
So go ahead.
Yes, on the security and climate issues. I wish to state that even when the changes in still an issue in the rural communities we serve, sometimes yes, they have streams there that flow almost all year round, but the quality is said that it is unwholesome. Mm-hmm. So for them to be able to use such water, they have to go through several processes: boiling, filtration, and sometimes use of chemicals to take away the impurities. So yes, water is such a big issue in the communities we serve, and any partnership that will enhance access to quality water in the communities is welcome. And on this basis, I want to use the opportunity to say a big thank you to Prof. Maya and his team for the work that they did in Ilo. Before that water project, the school enrollment was so low, and the current year, they have received far in excess of 200 students because now the school has access to water. The students don't have to go outside the community in the middle of the night looking for water.
Thank you so much for that information. Let's move to another question. We have a question from Iowa State University. How does Iringa Hope and Self-Help make room and use of research findings from partner universities? Dr. Ugulumu, you're on mute.
Yes, what I will say is that.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, using research findings.
We have benefited from our partners. Quite remember when we started the introduction and promotion of orange fresh sweet potato, we had to rely on the Crop Research Institute for them to get the vines and then also the technologies around how to cultivate orange fresh sweet potato, which is really helping to improve on the health of the clients and our growing healthy children.
Thank you. Thank you. Dr. Ugulumu.
Yes, we use a lot as far as researchers from other institutions like Sokoine University, like Uyole Research Institute. For instance, when it comes to researches that have been conducted by other universities, let's say on the soil content as far as minerals are concerned, we normally work very closely with them to make analysis of soil. And based on their on the findings, they advise us what sort of fertilizer to use, what sort of seed that we should use. That is on the aspect of soil. But also, we have been working very closely with other research institutes. They can tell us what sort of seeds that you should use. That can take 90 days, that can take more days, depending on the availability of rain, because we use rains and not irrigation. So we have really to sit down with research institutions plus universities to get their comments. When it comes to adoption of technologies, like we have to use the researchers from Sokoine University of Agriculture of how we can make a smallholder farmers to adopt new knowledge, new skills from elsewhere and utilize it in the production. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lucina, if I may.
Yes, of course.
There's a question that was posted in the chat, which I think is also very relevant, and I wanted to point that back to Professor Ugulumu, and that is the question, are the storage structures that you're speaking about, are they community owned or are they at the individual smallholder household level? And I want to add to that question, if you could point a little bit, one of the unique aspects is this whole aspect of aggregation that you're doing. I think it would be good if you could comment on both of those aspects since they're very unique with Iringa Hope.
Yes, thank you. Go ahead.
Yes, Professor, thank you so much. We have the structures. The structures that we put are owned by the members 100%. The role of the owner of the land, the role of the provider of the fund is to support these groups to have facilities that will help them forever. We will say this is the end of the ownership of the building if they decide to dissolve the society or the cooperative. So as a matter of fact, all facilities, all buildings, all warehouses are owned 100% by the members of SACCOs and AMCOs.
Thank you. There was actually another question in the chat from Bet Prakash, I think, and said, could you possibly further elaborate on the post-harvest storage procedures? Are the storage structures community-owned or are they individual small household level?
Okay, the storage facilities,
that's right.
We say this, when they have harvested their corn, their maize, they are stored in the facilities. They are owned by the members, by their cooperatives. And the role of Iringa Hope is to connect to the buyers. So there are very minimal charges that we charge on storage. But when we get the buyer will buy and will take the corn or the maize, and all money, we deduct just small percentage of storing each bag in the warehouse. The remaining money will be distributed to members depending on how much they had stored, each individual had stored in the warehouse. Have I answered your question?
I believe that if, there might be a follow-up question. Norm, you had some.
Yeah, just to follow up on Dirk, your comment about aggregation. The previous practice has been individual farmers selling at the farm gate, selling a few bags at a time. And one of the big values provided by our AMCOs, the agricultural marketing cooperatives, is to bring members together, bring all of their product together in one location, and through one of our staff, a marketing manager who looks at the market, identifies the buyers that are buying at any particular time, what price that they're buying at, to get the very best prices for our members, aggregating all of their grain that they've produced together. We can interest buyers in making large purchases. And that is one of the benefits of having centralized storage locations. I guess I would also add that what we have found is we built a new market center that'll be holding large amounts of grain that we can aggregate into one location. Some of the cooperative villages that we work with during the rainy season, the roads are impassable. And so by bringing their grain into the central storage location, we can market their grain at any time, not limited by the weather conditions. Dirk, did that answer what you were indicating?
Yes. I think this is one of the unique aspects that I saw when I visited Iringa Hope, is the fact that, again, the storage technology, which gets asked a number of times too, is hermetic storage bags. In your case, you're using picks, but there's a number of other hermetic bags products that, of course, are available. And the fact that you have figured out a way that farmers can acquire PICS bags, bring them in the PICS bags into the aggregation center where they stay in those hermetic bags all the way into the marketing center. And only after the grain is marketed, the grain is taken out and the technology, so to speak, returned to the farmer. So you have figured out a way to circulate this technology that is owned by the farmers, but also when the farmers are delivering the hermetic bags into the aggregation center, they give up the name on their bag, right? So if they wanted to have some grain back, they may not necessarily get their particular bag back, they get a bag back. And I think that's a real key solution of a problem that a lot of smallholder farmers and co-ops have had in the past, that people don't want to give up on their grain and they don't have their grain back or a portion thereof. And it's wonderful in terms of how you have resolved it. And I think that's a major breakthrough in terms of post-harvest management and aggregation, utilizing hermetic storage technology. So
And that's been a key transition to help our members understand the benefits of aggregating all their grain together. And it's only made possible through the hard work of many of our staff that are continually meeting with cooperative members, educating and training them on best practices, and having that continual contact.
Thank you. This is very, very educational, I have to say. There is one more kind of a follow-up question on those technologies. A comment was made that, as we know, the loss of post-harvest is very huge in developing countries. So what kind of post-harvest technologies have been developed and distributed for smallholder farmers? So what kind of post-harvest technologies have been developed and distributed to smallholder farmers?
Enoch, would you address that?
Yeah, there are several ways. First of all, is we are trying to be watchful from the field itself. When we harvest, we normally people they tend to use to throw the corn just on the. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yes.
You hear me?
Yes, we can.
Right. I say there is a method whereby we have to use some sort of a canvas when we are in the field. When we harvest, we put on a canvas in a better way so that the seeds cannot break and go down west on the soil. But also we have to manage by making sure that we put when we're doing shelling, we use better ways so that we don't throw out the seeds. We weigh them and we put it in a pig's bag or in the pig's bag, and then take from the household small whatever kind of storage to a facility that is located for aggregation purposes, and that is Integrated Development Center building that is located within the locality of the farmers. So normally technologies that have been used is the handling approaches, but also the storage. Where do we put our seeds when we have shelled out from the cob, and using the pig's bag or the bag that will tend to support management of the seeds for a longer period. I don't know whether I have really answered your question properly. No.
Yeah, I think that there's just you mentioned a few key procedures. One is keeping the grain off of the ground using tarps or a canvas.
Yes.
Making sure that the grain is dry, and instead of just using by guess and by golly, but rather using moisture meters. Now, moisture meters are going to be expensive for an individual to purchase, but to the extent that members can band together to purchase moisture meters, they can assure themselves that the grain is dry enough that it's not going to mold. And that's important when you're putting the grain into a hermetically sealed bag. And making sure that everyone is educated on how to use the hermetically sealed bags to ensure that there's no leakage.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the key things. Dirk, is there anything that you would like to add?
The only other thing that I would add is perhaps is for Benjamin or Nora to comment on another question related to that, which is, so generally we focus very much on, or have focused much on grains because of what Iringa Hope is doing, but the perishables. I know you also in Self-Help, you work with perishable crops. What do you do there to help farmers, smallholder farmers in Ghana preserving perishable crops?
That is still a huge challenge at this point. Basically, what we are trying to do to help farmers solve that challenge is to make sure there's market. They are linked to market sources before the harvest. We are still talking to other institutions that are into solar drying techniques. And this is something that I'm in constant touch with Professor Kuba of KNUST, discussing how best we can help our farmers go around that challenge, because a lot of them are into vegetable farming. And during the peak season, how to really preserve some of these crops is a challenge. So at this point, we don't have any solution to the perishable crops apart from we making sure there's ready market at the time of harvest.
Thank you. Well, unfortunately, we are past 1 minute past the hour, and we would love to continue having that discussion and answering questions. Unfortunately, this is all the time that was given to us for this kind of a discussion. But I encourage everyone to actually follow up with panelists. As Dirk mentioned, information and recording will be made available after this event. And I would like to thank all panelists for great information and a lot of information and sharing your successes, the successes of the organizations that you are working with, and also the partners that you work with in all those attempts and all those basically endeavors related to encouraging farmers and educating them, and of course sharing, providing funding and so on. Dirk, I know you have a couple of words.
Yeah, thank you, Lucina. Thank you also for moderating and being part of this panel. I also want to express my appreciation to the panelists, also to the organizers up on our team at the consortium, and the participants. We had a wonderful number of participants, again, from all over the world, beyond just the consortium, but also through participants in this week's Borlaug Dialogue. I think both examples that we've highlighted here today, we connected primarily because of our work through post-harvest loss reduction, but learned, of course, very quickly that post-harvest loss is only a part of the challenge that is part of the food security and food system in local places. And both Iringa Hope and South Lab International are two wonderful examples of how successful impact through partnership happens from the bottom up. And that's really one of the key things that I think is unique about both of these organizations. They're working locally, they have local impacts, and they're working with funds that they have made available in various ways, many of them through individual donors and foundations and others, and are able to make those every dollar count in the places that they work in. And so again, thank you for the service, and thank you for the impact that all of you are having. And the entire webinar recording will be in our consortium, reduceph.com. COM, we had that in the chat. I had it wrong initially, but and then we also will have the narrated presentations from Professor Ugolumo and Benjamin Kusi posted also separately. And again, if you have questions, contacts, and so forth, information, you can touch base with us. So again, thank you to everybody. Thank you for participating, and enjoy the rest of your day and this week. Hopefully you have opportunity to log into the Borlaug Dialogue with most sessions made available virtually. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all.